Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about and discussing the U.S. Constitution and finding out what is entailed in the U.S. Constitution going forward for its future and its path. We had done some videos on this in the past, which I will put in the link in the description below. I think the last time I did this was on July 4th for July 4th special. I highly recommend you go and watch it. It's been a couple of years now, but I want to take a look and a little update on the U.S. Constitution because I just got done recording a video, and that video was how will the world see the United States from different points of view, from different terms of time in the future. So we took a look at 23, 25. We took a look at 21, 25. We took a look at 2050 and 2030 and how would time proceed this very point in time here in the United States from a different lens of view and different perspective to kind of better understand about what's coming for us and the future of the United States. So I highly recommend you go and watch that. And in one of those things, as we got closer and closer to 2025, the U.S. Constitution kind of started to make its way forward and major changes were started to happen. So we're going to explore a little bit more in detail what those changes might be coming and whether or not there are changes and how effective will the Constitution be going forward and will it be a new model, stuff like that. There's a whole lot of things coming. So I just figured let's do this video. So I hope you guys like this video. I'm hoping this is going to be a short one because there's no need for it to be long. But this video is being recorded on none other than Thursday, February 6th at 1:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as of when I am recording this. And if you want to help out the channel grow, I really do help and appreciate all of you guys. So if you just want to go into the comment section below, comment, and you can like, subscribe, pin the bell icon. You can watch the video longer than you normally do. You tell the algorithm, hey, I like your content, show me more. You'll see show not only my content, but also other psychic tarot card readers and other astrologers as well. If you also want to be notified when I do post and upload, because sometimes YouTube does not do that, you can go into the comment section below and follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group so you can be notified when I do post and upload. Plus, you have a direct line of connection to me so you guys can ask me questions that if you have any. And try to refrain from using words and terminology that refers to Trump or Elon Musk. Try to use other terminology that won't get flagged by YouTube because a lot of your comments are getting removed. And speaking of comments, I am going to be responding to a whole bunch of you guys. I'm off today, so I'm going to spend a lot of time answering a bunch of you. I'm aiming for about 300 comments. I think the last 2 weeks we got more than 6,000 comments. So thank you all of you guys who have been engaged with the content. It's a lot to answer, so it's going to take me quite a bit of time. But nonetheless, I will answer you no matter how far away you have commented. With that being said, let's begin. We have a lot to get through today. I don't like wasting your time, as you all know. And let's do this. Let's see what happens. All right, so Spirits and Angel, let's take a look. Okay. Because again, everything in this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. Everything in this video is just alleged. All right, so Spirits and Angels, tell me about 45 and the state of the U.S. Constitution. What do we need to know about the U.S. Constitution and what's coming for the United States under the Constitution? What's coming? Okay, that's a lot. So I like the way my guys place the card. They place it for me, and they just kind of like let me read intuitively. So that's how we're going to do it. The first card that comes up is the Knight of Pentacles, right? And this card is facing towards the past. So this is the past, this is the future, in hindsight. And why is this important? Why is this significant? Because this is facing towards the past, which means whatever this card is indicating here, it's a challenge from the past. Here underneath it, we have the Five of Swords reversed. We have the Hierophant reversed, which is the government. Excuse me. The first thing I got from the government was the Articles of Confederation. So that was the original governmental document formerly governing the colonies and the original United States. And then we also have here uprooting, which is represented by the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of Wands. Further challenge in this direction, also diagonally in the two opposite direction, we have the Ten of Pentacles reversed, which is heading downward but towards the future. Okay, that's what that card is. Here, though, was kind of like, whoo, kind of thing. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, followed by the Ace of Cups upright, followed by restrictions. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of stories, which indicates restriction, which is interesting, nonetheless. And I feel like some of this is referring to the Bill of Rights. And I think we're going to actually cover the state of the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, because the Bill of Rights is not only included in the U.S. Constitution, but also in its own right should have its own independent look at, because the Constitution as a whole has more amendments than the Bill of Rights. So we're going to take a look at the Bill of Rights also in this video. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is going towards fast-paced movement towards the future, but slow movements from the past, which means that this is a challenge to the Hierophant and the uprooting. Now, why is this important? Because this card signifies to me the wars that the United States has fought, and that the ability that soldiers got out there and voted so that others can have the freedom and the government can be able to do the things that it needs to do. These are the wars that the United States has fought. The United States has fought many wars, but many of the big ones pertain to the Revolutionary War of 1776, 1812, the Civil War, World War I, and World War II. Okay, those are the big ones. I'm also here in the Mexican-American Civil War as well. Here underneath, the next to the right card here, we have the government, the Hierophant. The government actually in the United States has actually experienced this point in time in history. Now, that has been erased from the historical records and historical books. But according to when I went to school, not school in New York, where I live, I'm talking about school in my own brain, because sometimes I go to school. Yes, I go to school when I'm sleeping. And in that school, I get taught certain things that happen in the United States that we don't really get taught here in actual reality. When I go to school with the spiritual world and stuff like that, yes, that's the thing. And in the Hierophant, they were telling us that the United States has been brought out by multi-billionaires, at the time millionaires, back in the late 1800s, right after the Civil War. And that is why we have Carnegie, Rockefeller, all those monopolies. Those are big issues because they were brought out. The United States was actually bankrupt by that point, but it was brought out of the First Depression. And therefore, we had our First Depression later on, but really that would have been our Second Depression, but it was hidden and further amplified because the U.S. sold itself out to corporations and businesses, and because doing so, Washington, D.C., instead of becoming Washington District of Columbia, it became Washington District of Corporations. So that is why the Hierophant is reversed. It's the lack of inability and structure of the U.S. government and how it works and operates. Until today, we still see the effect of the United States at this very point in time. Even if they don't teach us this, my spiritual school and the teacher that they were telling us about, they taught me that so that I could be able to relate the information to you. That we still see the effect today. And here we have uprooting. This is a very important card because it comes right after the Hierophant, which indicates that the lack of power of the government and the institution of corporations in the United States. This means uprooting. The Constitution has, in some formality, has been uprooted. It has, in essence, been as powerful as it should have been. It has been manipulated and twisted in forms of those in positions of power who were brought out by corporations. So that is what I'm seeing here. And then it's also being further challenged towards the downward spiral towards the future. We have the Ten of Pentacles, which tells me money and money influence when it comes to the Constitution will start to crash. The Constitution will either become irrelevant or money will become irrelevant in U.S. politics. But that is what it's referring to in terms of the U.S. Constitution, that although this is heading towards the past, this is telling you about the past up until this very point. Here, this is heading towards the future, which is the only card heading towards the future, which is the Ten of Pentacles reversed, which means either this means many amendments in the U.S. Constitution are about to be altered or changed or challenged from the past that was being put in by the past, or it might also indicate the 10 Bill of Rights. It also could be indicated here that there could be money influence waning its power from U.S. government, especially in regards to the Constitution. Now, this also could be another interpretation, and it could be very simple as anything else, that this interpretation with the Ten of Pentacles reversed could be as symbolic and as simple as just simply saying, okay, so we see this Ten of Pentacles here. It might just indicate that, okay, although the changes are happening, it might also mean the end of the U.S. Constitution because a lot of those amendments that are taken out that strengthen the force of the Constitution has been either weakened or has been removed. So that is what this Ten of Pentacles is. It's reversed. So it's a lot of changes. We don't know necessarily how the Constitution is going to play out because it's still not set in stone. It does say that the U.S. Constitution itself and the U.S. Constitution in itself and its structure is about to collapse and just kind of dismantle itself 100%, and we do see that. But whether it's for the good or for the bad, that is yet to be remained because it's still up for those who create the story, right? You can have, for example, I tell all the time with my clients and also with you guys when I explain timeline, that, you can have, if the Constitution be born here, the Constitution ends here, but the story in between is what is up to you. That is that free choice of will. As long as these two remain the same, whatever happens here does not matter. You can do it any way in any form you like. So the Constitution, in essence, is going through major changes, but it's within the story time. It's within the story playbook, but not rather anything more than just the story itself. All right, so going back to the right side here, what are some more things that we need to know regarding the U.S. Constitution? Well, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is that opportunity for the proposal of amendments that never actually got put on in the U.S. Constitution, that over time, by not being able to put these constitutional amendments in, it was able to weaken the power of the Constitution, which is further amplified by this past energy here, these three cards, being the challenge to the Knight of Pentacles from the past, is money influencing the ability for the effectiveness of the U.S. Constitution. When this Presence card, though, we're talking about the Ace of Cups, although things were going downward and they weren't always good, the Constitution has indeed served a purpose. It has served the purpose that it was intended to do, but regardless of the money influence or not. And here, though, the future of the Constitution will be more of a restrictive nature, which means the Constitution, based on how I see it now, looks like it's going to be more of a restrictive one rather than one that is more expanded upon, which means that the power of the Constitution will be shrunken. And here we have the World card, reverse the World card. In this aspect, it's upside down. And the Death card was also upside down, which means an upside down rebirth. And here we have the Ten of Cups here, which is a celebration of some type. This is the U.S. elections and how elections work. And here we have the Constitution upside down. So the way the election went was going to determine the effectiveness and the ability of the Constitution, and it ended up going to 45. So because of that, it made the Constitution almost practically irrelevant or ineffective in some capacity. So that's interesting to say the least. Now what we're going to do is we're going to ask the question, now that we know it's kind of weakened because of who won 45, we're going to take a look and see, will the Constitution, well, let's take a look at the Bill of Rights, and then we'll ask, whether or not the Constitution will be modified and strengthened, or will it just be a new form of government where we be replacing the Constitution? Okay. Okay, Spirit Angels, tell me about the Bill of Rights, U.S. Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution. What is the fate of the U.S. Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution? What do we need to know? So they told me to flip the deck. The Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution, 3 cards. 3 cards for the U.S. Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution. So for me, it feels like this is 45 here. And what is 45 trying to do? He's trying to remove it or try to abolish it. This is the agreement between the people and the government. He's trying to remove it. On the top of the deck here, we have the Ace of Swords in defeat of the incumbent, and we have here loss. For me, it feels like 45 is going to try. He's going to lose. He's not going to do well in terms of trying to remove the Bill of Rights. It does feel like this is an agreement between the people and the government, and if you try to dismantle that, well, that causes major problems. So I don't really necessarily see him having as much power in this regard. He will challenge it 100%. Will he be successful? Probably not. Here we have the Chariot card reversed, and the Chariot card is indicating to me that although the powers of the Bill of Rights, although it wasn't first intended, it was intended just to be nothing more than just a Bill of Rights and just a pure statement of the people and their rights in the country. However, it has furthermore gained a sense of purpose and resilience and very reliant for the people, and the people will use this as a formality to determine whether or not the government is working for them or against them. Here we have the strength card. This actually, Bill of Rights has actually been a lot stronger than the Constitution itself. I would actually say if you were to levy this against the Constitution itself, the Bill of Rights would actually succeed or supersede the U.S. Constitution. And this means essentially in hindsight that the Bill of Rights is a lot stronger and it's a lot more protected than that of the U.S. Constitution. Here we have the page of stores. There will be attempts to challenge it and whether or not the people are willing to step up and hold on to that power, or are they willing to be docile and willing to allow them to not hold on to these rights and get it removed. So I do feel like in a way it does say that there's a lot of protection and a lot of inability for 45 to remove them. He will attempt to remove them, and by doing so, the Bill of Rights will either be tested by the people, so the people will actually be able to hold on to their rights if they chose to seek it and challenge it and prevent it from being taken from them. But if they choose to sit down and do nothing, then it will be taken. Yeah, because we have the lost card here, right? Then followed by the Ace of Swords, which is the defeat of the incumbent. He's going to try to defeat the Bill of Rights. It's reversed, which tells me no, he's not defeating it. He's not going to win. There will be attempts or opportunities by the Knight of Cups. It won't be of celebration, but there will have to be a learning curve here for the president, and he's the incumbent. So that's what I'm getting. I don't really see anything that big in terms of significance, but there will be major challenges, and it's up to us to really meet the challenge head on. Whether or not you're ready to get up and out of bed, that's a whole other story, but it's whether or not you're willing to fight for your right or whether you're willing to relinquish it. And there will be other bills and stuff like that that will be used to diminish the power of the Bill of Rights, such as the Patriot Act of 2001. So stuff like that will be more of that is what will be used. Now we're going to talk about the future of the United States Constitution and what's coming for the future and whether or not it's going to stay intact, be renewed, strengthened, or will it be replaced entirely. Okay, U.S. Constitution. What is coming for the U.S. Constitution for the future? Is it being replaced? Is it being strengthened? What is going on with the U.S. Constitution in the future? I'm hearing replace. Yeah, I'm seeing replacement. And it's interesting because like the replacement could be like it could still be called the U.S. Constitution, but the amendment within it could be modified to the point where it's unrecognizable. Okay. The first card that we get here is the Five of Cups, which means not necessarily a loss for the people, not necessarily a loss for the U.S. government, but if you're looking at the right thing, you're looking at the two-cup standing, as long as you acknowledge the two-cup standing and be able to build upon that, you'll be successful, but you also got to take note of all the negative stuff and be able to address those two. You can't just address the positive and not address the negative. You got to address both. Here we do have a mutual agreement between the people. The U.S. Constitution failed, or the government failed to uphold its agreement with the people, which is the Two of Cups, which is reversed, which indicates it failed. Here we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is telling me that there's opportunity to judge in, to look in and see whether they can take it away from it. I don't think that the U.S. Constitution will be modified the likes of which we have seen before. There may be a little snippet like We the People being added into the new Constitution to kind of get that nostalgic feel, but it doesn't feel like they're going to be taking big things out of the U.S. Constitution and reapplying that to the new one. I feel like there's going to be a a remodel of the Constitution entirely. They may take the right to bear arms, and they might remodel that to be something a little bit different from its original intention and meaning. Okay. Underneath that lost card here, which is the Five of Cups reversed, we have it upright with the Four of for a pentacle, it's indicating to me that there is going to be some sense of control or hand in the power. I feel like there's going to be 4 institutions of government within the U.S. that will be established that will be more of a check and balance on the government itself. So there's going to be a change in the checks and balances within the Constitution and how it operates. It also tells me as well that there will be major amendments that will be kept and be brought into the new Constitution itself. So that is also what I'm getting. And then we have the Two of Cups reversed with the Queen of Swords upright, which is indicative and is telling me here that there will be opportunity, there will be things that's floated, there will be things that have been talked about for years, even decades and centuries when the U.S. first began, that may possibly finally get implemented in this new Constitution. And underneath the Seven of Pentacles reversed, we have the Six of Pentacles upright, which tells me there will be ideas, there will be money that will be funneled to try and alter the new Constitution and the way the new form of government works. And here we have 3. So it says here we're going to have another Constitution or something similar of it in government format. Could be have the 3 of Pentacles, which we have the Article of Confederation, the U.S. Constitution, and then whatever the other governing document that's going to come after that. That is what it's saying here. I do feel, because if you watch my other video, I talked about how the United States doesn't feel like it's there by 300 years, even 150 years. It kind of feels like it's gone at that point. And I talked about how that doesn't necessarily mean the U.S. is completely eradicated or gone, but it might just be that the United States we know today, the name of the United States might be changed. The flag might be changed. Things within the United States now might be altered and changed to the point where it's an unrecognizable country by the time we get there. But when we go and take it from a bird's-eye view, it kind of makes the United States feel as if the Roman Empire is so far away, but you're able to make adjustment, and people are so fascinated about the United States. And here on the top of the deck here, we have victory. Victory. So we're asking whether or not there's going to be changes and stuff like that to the U.S. Constitution. I'm going to say yeah. But we have the Lovers card, which tells me there will be an agreement between the people as well. So the government document is going to be funneled by money. Money is going to really determine how the new governing document is going to be founded. Now, Jim getting a little information here from guys that 45 will try and use the Constitution in his own way and try to modify it, but that will not be the new governing document. 45 will try to establish a new doctrine, but it's not one that's going to be official long term. And here we have the Queen of Cups. He's not going to be able to hold on to it. So, yeah, so at least that's what I got for the Bill of Rights, the U.S. Constitution, the fate of the U.S. Constitution. There is changes that's coming, without a doubt. We're here, we're there. It's what's coming. Just allow yourself to be immersed in this watching and just playing as you go. If you don't like what you see and you want to do something about it, run. Run for Congress. Run for senator. Run for governor. You can do stuff. You don't have to sit on the sidelines. Do something. And we'll support you. All right, guys. I love you. Have a good night. I'll see you all soon. Until next time, peace out.